We'll call the June 21st Sanitary District Board meeting to order. Stand for the pledge.
July 19th.
Pardon?
July 19th.
July 19th. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call.
Kim Kroll,
Here.
Patricia Sims-Samerchik,
Here.
Richard Setlek,
Here.
Ken Gambala,
Here.
Robert Kometz,
Here.
Wayne Pondinas,
Present.
Joe Wisawati.
Here.
Okay, move on to item number 4, approval of the minutes. So I need a motion for the approval of the June 21st, 2022 regular meeting minutes.
Also move.
I will second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes. And a motion, seeking a motion for the approval of the July 11th, 2022 joint special meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Presentation by Standard Equipment Company.
Just for informational purposes, the Water District's tabled that item to look at, the discussion was, the motion was to look at other trucks right now. So, just so you do it, the Water Board, or Sanitary does what it wants, but I'm just saying because I think it's a joint payment.
It would be yes. So is there a presentation for this, or?
Yeah, Michael Connors here from Standard Equipment.
Thank you for the opportunity. Again, I'm Michael O'Connor, Standard Equipment Company. Wayne asked me to come tonight to present the truck. I do have a truck outside. I have also provided some information to Wayne on the manufacturer of the company, as well as pricing on the truck and availability. We demonstrated the truck here recently with the Public Works Department. It's a truck that's used for the cleaning and vacuuming of sewers, both sanitary and storm lines, as well as hydro excavation to locate utilities, to safely dig. It's becoming a lot more popular nowadays to do that with so much infrastructure in the ground. There's a need to expose the lines, so we have the capability of high pressure water that we use to break up the ground, and then we use our vacuum to suck it up. Hopefully everybody got the information I sent to Wayne, so if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer anything I can answer. The manufacturer of the truck is Vactor Manufacturing. They're located in Streator, Illinois. They're the largest manufacturer of the trucks in the nation. They're the ones that originated the truck. They founded the truck, invented the technology. They build more trucks than any other, all the manufacturers combined. I currently have municipal only about 32 Vactors in Lake County with municipalities. I think we got about a handful of them on order for different towns coming in here in the next 6 to 8 months. The company that I work for, Standard Equipment Company, we're in Elmhurst, Illinois. We've been around for 54 years. We've supplied street sweepers. You guys own one of our street sweepers. And the service and parts behind that come out of Elmhurst, as well as University Park, Illinois, where the National Parts Distribution Center is for Vactor Manufacturing. So we stand behind the product. We offer on-site training. We have next-day parts delivery trucks. And we have factory training over at Streator as well for as long as you own the truck. We understand it's a very high-priced unit, so we know you're going to have it for quite a while. So having the parts and service capabilities, I understand that's important. So we're definitely, just like we have been with the street sweeper, we definitely we're there when you need us. So again, any questions I can answer for you.
What typical lifespan do you see for a machine like that for a municipality our size?
The truck is going to last a lot longer than to answer your question. My preference, I'd love to see you turn that truck in 8 to 10 years because the value is so high at that point, your trade-in value, where you can get a lot out of that truck and get yourself into a new truck that's under warranty. It's a 20-year truck. Now, generally what we see is our initial customer is a town this size or bigger, which has multiple trucks. You know, Gary has 5, East Hammond has 5, East Chicago has 5, Munster has 2, Maryville Conservancy has 2. So I mean, just throwing Crown Point has 2. Now, ideally, like they'll turn their trucks in 8 to 10 years, so because they want to have another frontline truck come. Then that truck will go to a smaller town that's not going to use it nearly as much for the next 12 years. So but we have trucks out there that are definitely over 20 years old. 'Cause the parts availability are endless for the years of trucks that we have. So we have we provide parts for trucks that are 20 years old, 25 years old. But as far as a frontline piece of equipment for you, it's in that 8 to 12 years of what would be recommended. Don't get me wrong. I got trucks out there. We just delivered one to Lowell. Their truck was like yours. Their truck was a 2000. I think your truck's a 99. So they used their truck for 21 years before they replaced it. And they actually kept their old truck to use as in a different department. So that truck's still running today. But it all depends on your budget and what you're able to do. We have some that'll actually replace even quicker because, again, the value. A couple of things that hit that is, when you get to that 10-year mark, the secondary market is really looking for trucks under 10 years. That's where you get your strongest feedback from the next buyers. They like to see things at that 10 or under 10-year mark, not only because it's the condition, but a lot of times they have to finance that, and they can get better financing on a truck that's under 10 years than a truck that's over 10 years old. Sure. So,
What's the warranty on a new one?
So the truck has this truck will come, the truck that I proposed, this demo truck, will come with a brand new truck warranty. And a brand new truck warranty is 1 year bumper to bumper. Now, all the major components on that truck are the engine, the chassis engine, which runs everything on the truck. That chassis engine has a 2-year warranty. The transmission is also a big part because we utilize the transmission not only to run the truck, but to help us run our components. That has a 3-year warranty. The 2 main components of the truck is something that makes the water pressure. That's our water pump. That has a 2-year warranty. And then our vacuum system, which obviously vacuums material, that has a 5-year warranty. And then we do have some other ones. Our water tanks are warranted for 10 years, and our debris tank is warranted for 5 years.
Okay.
So,
One other one. Are you experiencing any, I'm looking forward to something I'm thinking anyway, but in terms of like supply chain delays, that sort of thing, are
extensive. That has changed our market more in the last 12 months. And I've been doing this for 23 years, and I've never had anything like what we've experienced the last 12 months. And I think it's going to continue for quite a while. We're able to build our product. One thing about Vactor, and this separates us from any other manufacturers of these trucks, we build about 85% of that truck as far as what's on that chassis. So we don't have to really depend on too many people to supply us components, but we have to put it on a truck chassis. And so we're at the mercy of Freightliner, International, Peterbilt, Kenworth, and we are seeing different scenarios of delays like we've never seen before. Everything you hear about the chips that were in cars, the same thing are happening with the trucks. Everything from the computer chips like you hear so much about, down to literally the plastics, the resins that are used to make some of the components that are so far behind now. Now, the one thing that's nice is Vactor is owned by Federal Signal Corporation. Federal Signal Corporation is a multi-billion-dollar company, so they have the pockets to go out and acquire a lot of chassis. So we do have a bank of chassis from all these manufacturers that we can build on. That being said, I used to be able to take an order and build a truck about 4 to 6 months. Now we're probably 18 to 24 months. So literally it's stretched out quite a bit. Standard Equipment does buy a lot of stock units throughout the year. Now they're getting bought up normally they're sold long before they get built because again, with the supply chain issues, we don't have too many trucks sitting on the ground that we can sell. This is one of them, but it's very uncommon to have these available.
I have a question. Since a lot of the parts are resin, you said, or some of the parts?
That's on the chassis side. That's on like what I was pointing out on that. So the reason I mentioned that is because, again, it's something I never heard of. So the resin that makes the plastics, International they shut down their factory for a couple weeks about 6 months ago because they couldn't put in dashboards on their trucks because there was components on there that weren't available because the resin companies that make those for International shut down during the COVID time. So all their inventory has been extinguished. So there was nothing they could do. They couldn't build trucks.
And I was just thinking with your line, is it impacted by the petroleum hike in
Hikes.
prices? I mean, anything that's oil-driven, it's amazing. Everything in this room, a lot of this room, it had something to do with oil.
Today-
And that's all going up.
Yep. Today I got
The
a
price is going to go up
Oh,
substantially.
so something, again, in my 23 years, I've never had to do this. So as you can see on the quote I gave you, I think I put it's good for 7 days. That's one, because of availability. You know, that truck's going to sell because it is. But also, if I were to quote you a brand new truck, I would have to put that same length of time on there because we cannot control what these other manufacturers of chassis charge us. So what we put on there is it's good for 7 days, so we can give you a price. But even after that, when we get a sales order to you, we have to put on there that it's subject to price increases from the chassis manufacturers. Today, Freightliner sent us out a $3,500 chassis increase on trucks that we have already ordered. So if you were going to build a truck and you gave me an order for one that I say, okay, I can build you this truck and have it here in June of 2024, I'd be calling you guys today and saying it's $3,500 more. Not because of me, but because of Freightliner to put that on that chassis. And I can't
You have
do
no
it.
control
I have no
over that.
control over that.
Yeah.
And that's been happening rapidly over the last 12 months. We've been seeing that, and they call them surcharges. So, there's been multiple with all the manufacturers. As soon as one does it, they all follow suit. So
Right. That's what I thought.
we literally have had trucks on order that the customers had to agree to pay almost $15,000 to $17,000 more after they already approved a certain amount because of the charges.
Any other questions?
No, it's a nice truck.
Oh, are there any consumables for that truck?
So the wear items,
Well, there'll be wear items, I'm sure. But I mean, it doesn't take anything you're putting in water, I understand, and basically you're taking out water that's
Right.
messed up. But
Yep.
anyway,
yep. Nope, just your oil, your oil, fuel, filters.
Okay.
We do have the capability of running disinfectant type of material through our water pump. We'll certify that. We build our water pump. Every other manufacturer out there buys their water pump. So during COVID and everything, it came, we've always been able to do it, but it became more noticeable that you could actually use this truck if you needed to sanitize the railings around here or whatever. You can actually use this truck to do that. So and then you're still using the same water tanks and everything like that. We're just adding a disinfectant
Okay.
to it. But
I kind of thought there weren't, but I just wanted to be sure.
we use water to do all of our work with it, and then also all of our cleaning. It has clean outs for every function on the truck. Your debris tank, it has a clean out. Your vacuum system has a clean out. It's all based, and we're using the same water tanks. So. Anything else?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep, thanks.
So what are they looking for, a recommendation from this board, or Joe?
At this time, I think basically we're just doing the presentation. I don't think we're actually asking for any action right now. I know that there was discussion at the previous meeting to have some other options looked at. And I know Bob Davis actually addressed that, so if you want him to kind of come up and give a summary of that, that would be all right.
Bob, do you mind?
Yeah.
To talk about other options and.
So going back to the water board meeting, the truck's a 99 that we have. It's very similar to that one. Past couple of years, we've done some rehab to it and upgrades, so we have the capabilities of hydro excavating, etc. Last Thursday, Standard Equipment brought the truck by for a demo. Of course, it's new, pretty, very nice. The guys used it, they like it. I would like to see some other outfits come in so the guys can take a look at it, see what they prefer and what they like. Wayne was driving this. I appreciate that, Wayne. So we kind of move it up a little quicker maybe. It is been put into the 5-year plan, looking at 2 years. We believe we can get 2 more years out of our truck, if not more. We put about 100 hours pump time on it a year. Actually, today it was out jetting a sewer and worked just fine. Did its job.
Didn't want to use a demo, huh?
No, I didn't want to clean it. So yeah, and then back to the financing of it, that would come from your end and the town manager and the water board and the clerk's office. But I do believe there's possibilities to look at MS4 grant money to possibly help pay for it. But like Mike was saying, there's other options, you know, lease agreements, things like that.
Okay. Well, I think that would be prudent to look at the other alternatives out there. It does cost so much. Now, I don't know, you said it's 18 to 24 month build time if we were to order one, right?
And how much of a price increase? We're probably talking, compared to the demo, probably 50,000 right out of the gate, right?
If you order the same truck that I have out here, identical, just today it'd be about $50,000 more. Plus, I can't control the cost that, you know, between now and the time we deliver. So, generally the trucks have about between the chassis and related cost, you have about between a 5 to 10% price increase every year. In the last 2 years, those have very much exceeded those with what we've seen with steel prices. I mean, obviously, a large portion of this truck is steel, and the steel price has just skyrocketed in the last 2 years. So, surcharges that are added.
Okay,
All right.
Good?
Thank you, Bob.
Thanks.
thank you.
So we'll move on to new business. Item A, accept the quote for the US 41 culvert project.
Again, for information only, the Water District approved the Gatlin proposal based on the recommendation of the town engineer.
Okay, so we had three bids come up.
Yes.
Yeah.
2 old and,
It's
Okay.
getting,
well, 1
So
old and
the-
2 new.
The Gatlin was 300,000. The original bid was 363,422.
And just for the record, they did resubmit a new quote on that. It wasn't the old bid, they resubmitted on this one as well.
Oh, they did?
Yeah,
Okay.
so I don't know if the prices were exactly the same, so,
Pretty close.
yeah,
Yeah,
Close.
363, I stopped, I didn't.
yeah.
And then the third bid is, I'm reading this, $356,599.88.
That's Woodruff.
Woodruff, okay.
I think it shows with the 3 there, at least we have some evaluation of things. And a thing from the engineer about that Gatlin, I guess, made some comment that they might be able to get started earlier.
Yeah, if I may, the engineer's recommendation to the town, at its earliest convenience, accept the Gatlin plumbing bid of $300,000 as submitted on July 15th. Authorize the town manager to award and execute construction contract to Gatlin to be administered by Haas Engineering. The recommendation is based on 2 reasons. 3 competitive bids were received from qualified and invited bidders, permitting assessment of the competitive bidding cost, and the lowest bidding cost, Gatlin, while higher overall than previously estimated, are reasonably justified for the work, the respective work. One of the things is that the total cost to the sanitary district, which was summarized in the memorandum to the board, was a total of $134,250. The Water Works Board is $165,750. That's how the split would go down. So the motion would be in order to approve the bid from Gatlin Plumbing, to authorize the town manager to award and execute the construction contract to Gatlin, and administered by Haas Engineering. Also, that the Water Board would take lead on this, as it was before.
Any other questions on any of the others?
I
I'm
just-
sorry, what did you say the total cost for the sanitary board would be?
$134,250.
Thank you.
I just have a point of discussion. Wayne had mentioned that we already have some of the piping on hand, so that
That's correct.
we have an expectation that that figure could go down.
It could, and I want to clarify that with Scott, and I'll do that tomorrow.
I said could,
Yeah.
not would.
Well,
maybe.
and Wayne, do you have an idea what the cost was on that? Do you remember? For the
I believe it was close to 21,000.
Okay, and that might be. So if
That's
that's the
for
case,
pipe
and looking
only.
through these numbers, then that might be the case.
Right.
So,
Okay.
I will clarify that, because there was some other reading I was doing while you guys were taking a look at the truck about that, and it seemed like it was already taken into consideration, but I want to get clarification for sure. Because that savings would be significant too.
Well, it looks like it's on the bid, Joe, but that,
I know, and then,
When you
but
gotta
I read
decipher
through,
it, yeah.
I read through it, and I'm like, eh. So, the engineer did state, they sent us an email, on Monday, that they spoke to Gatlin, and it sounds like they'll be available to mobilize as early as Monday, to begin the first phase of this. And based on that, in discussions with the, state engineer, it seems like they would be able to mobilize and get the culvert done, and that work could take approximately 3 weeks. So we're probably looking at completion with milestone and getting all of that done probably before the end of September.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
good. Okay, well, with that being said, I'll entertain a motion that we recommend to the town to accept the Gatlin Plumbing bid of $300,000 as submitted on July 15th, 2022, and to authorize the town manager to award and execute the construction contract to Gatlin Plumbing to be administered by Haas and Associates, and the Water Board taking the lead on the project.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion passes. Next item, consider sewer credits. So we have total sewer credits for Trent and Stephanie Jacks, the amount of $35.97. Nancy Mauman in the amount of $98.10, for a total of $134.07. Looks like all the paperwork was submitted. Anybody have any questions? If not, I will entertain a motion for the payment of 130, or the sewer credits in the amount of $134.07.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Reports and correspondence. Any reports, Wayne? Updates?
your SCADA cabinets are being built. I want to thank Bob Davis for being here tonight, and Michael Connor. It was a quick thing from Thursday to now. I knew the importance of having everybody get the information, so I thank both boards, the town manager, for being open to all of this, and everybody's on board, and maybe it was too soon, too fast, but their eyes are open now, and I think we are going to look at something, and I think Bob Davis brought up something with a MS4 grant, maybe something with that would help this, or sweeten this deal, and if it's still around, then maybe we would pursue that. But again, our board and the previous board, they don't like having something at 2 o'clock come into them and say, here, we got this at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock at a meeting. So my goal was to get the information from you, Mike, and give it to everybody and talk to them somewhat, so they kind of knew what was going on, and I think they appreciate it. I appreciate their openness, Bob's openness, and I think we can continue on with discussing of a Vector truck in the near future, and I think they can recommend that to the town council. And I was also under the understanding that both boards can do this, but when talking with the town manager, he says, no, the town council has to have some say-so in this too, or approval. So I was wrong on that, but they got their information. They got everything that you sent me except videos. So that's a good thing. So I want to thank everybody for that.
And thank you, Wayne. I think it's very important that, you know, we're looking out for opportunities like that that are going to save the town money. So that's definitely, you know, kudos to you for seeing that opportunity too.
Thank you.
Is that MS4 grant, is that from the county? Are they the ones
I
that,
think that would be from the state.
or is that the state?
Yeah, typically, yeah, item.
I don't know who
Yeah, I mean.
does all that. MS4s, they have offices. I've seen that all over the place, but I'm assuming there's an application process and some justification.
Yeah, and we'll
for-
be taking a look at the opportunities, as well as the fee structure for the MS4, the implementation of that. So we've got to go through all of that, and obviously that's just now starting up, so, on our end.
But if it goes that way, I think that's a good reason to
Yeah, and I know
firm up the
that,
justification for getting it to begin with.
I know that there was one town that actually did the purchase through the MS4, the funding that they got through MS4. So, I mean, that might be something to take a look at too. Because they're cleaning out,
Could help.
they're cleaning out storm sewers too. It's not just, you know, sanitary, so.
Oh, yeah, storm sewers, sanitary, everything.
All right, thank you, Wayne. Thanks, Joe. Move on to number 7, payment of the bills. Anybody have any questions on any of the items on the dockets?
Oh, I think there was something, now that you mention it. Rise is with me, but anyway. What am I looking at? 112. Let me look at mine here. Oh, there's a $250,000 payment we made for, I'm not sure, I've seen it before, but I don't know if there's any, a good definition for it, the payment in lieu of taxes, for PILT.
That is the PILT payment.
Yeah, but are we the only ones in town that pay that? Or does anybody else pay PILT in the town? Like, does the park department pay PILT for their properties?
I'm sure they would, absolutely, yeah.
Okay, because you have these, there are transfers of money from one thing to another, but it's in lieu of taxes, but it's actually, we're getting it through another means, and then we're paying it in lieu. It's kind of like a shell game a little bit.
Ponzi scheme.
But I was just curious about the
I think
whether
that
everybody
came up
does it or
once
not.
Before, and I think the clerk had an answer for that, if I'm not mistaken, but if I try to explain it, I'll mess that up royal, so.
Well, that's okay. I'm just bringing it up. I can ask that separately. I asked, because I didn't remember seeing the acronym, but I don't always remember what they mean, because people reuse them quite liberally. But, you know,
If you want, I will definitely get some clarification out to you specific to this payment.
yeah, this one and just that whole concept, because I'm looking at, there's some things as a $250,000. I'm not sure if that's, we do that twice a year, once a year. If it's twice, that makes it $500,000.
Right.
And exactly what we're paying for, if that's for the,
Well,
Not sure.
as you can see, it's paid to the general fund, so I don't know if that's for the services rendered on behalf of the sanitary district, you know, for specific general fund services. And that, I'm just
That could
making
be
an
a lot of
assumption.
line items in
Yeah,
there.
yeah, there could be a lot lumped in there. I will get clarification specific to that, though.
If I can read this, I did email Beth earlier,
Okay.
and she responded to me. And she said, the reimbursement to the general fund for payment in lieu of taxes, it is a payment made by the utilities to the general fund, town side government, in lieu of the tax-exempt utility paying property taxes. It treats the utilities as if they were property tax-paying entities from which the town would collect property taxes from. Think of it as a utility like Indiana American Water, who pays property taxes on the utility. PILT treats the municipality entity the same way.
So if we're doing that, then technically, based on, since we're paying that, then we're not an exempt
Right,
utility.
right. And they've done this PILT forever,
Forever.
so.
Did I hear you say Parks does not pay it?
Yeah, because they're not a utility, so yeah.
Right. Knew it was on
And then
here.
water does?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
It's just we don't see it that often, so that's why it can be confusing.
Well, yeah, and that's a big amount. I'd ask for it, too.
It's a big amount.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
half
it's
that
kind of like
truck.
the
Yeah.
concept itself of saying you're exempt, but you're not.
Right.
I mean, if it was coming from me, I'd want to know quite a bit about it.
Talk to Beth.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions?
And thank you, Patty, for getting clarification on that ahead of time.
Okay, then I'll ask for a motion to approve the sanitary district dockets in the amount of $20,586.57.
So moved.
Second.
Oh, okay.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. And I'll need a motion for the payment of wastewater dockets in the amount of $595,031.87.
How we calculate that?
Okay, so moved.
Yours is 250.
Second.
I don't know.
So we have a motion and a second for the payment of the wastewater dockets.
Oh, yes.
All
Okay.
those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes. Number 8, public comment. Seeing there's no public comment, I'd like to entertain a motion for
Just to
adjournment.
clarify that item on, that he asked, we had 146,000 for the water district to general fund this month.
Oh, for the pill.
Now, I don't know why there's a difference.
Thanks, Ken. Motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Second.